Have you ever wondered if the secret to living past 100 isn't hidden in some distant land, but right in your morning routine? It's a question that catches many of us by surprise because we often think living long means complicated diets or expensive supplements. Honestly, I used to believe the same, thinking that a longer life was reserved for the lucky few or those with perfect genes. Like many, I felt that aging gracefully was mostly out of my hands. But here's something comforting. There are simple, gentle habits that nearly every person who lives beyond a century practices every morning. I'm not talking about strenuous workouts or fancy pills. These are easy, no-cost rituals that fit into less than half an hour, and you can start them tomorrow morning without any hassle. What's even more surprising is that these habits don't just help you live longer. They improve your energy, mental clarity, and overall well-being in ways you might never expect. Imagine waking up feeling refreshed and purposeful, with your body and mind ready for the day ahead. These are the little-known secrets backed by science and practiced by people who've truly stood the test of time. So, have you ever thought about how one small change in your morning could transform your life? You deserve to live not just longer, but better. Let's explore these powerful morning habits together and take the first step toward your best years yet. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. Now, let's begin. 1. Cellular Awakening Protocol. There's a quiet ritual shared by people all around the world who've celebrated more birthdays than most of us can imagine. You won't find it in an expensive clinic, and it doesn't require any prescription or complicated gadget. It happens in the peaceful hush of early morning, often before the sun has fully crept over the horizon, and it begins with something so simple that many of us overlook it entirely: a plain glass of water. For decades, we've been told about the importance of a healthy breakfast, regular exercise, or the latest vitamin supplement. But rarely do we pause to consider the first moments after waking, those gentle minutes when our bodies are quietly preparing for the day ahead. Centenarians, those remarkable men and women who live beyond 100, have quietly taught us that what we do in these first moments can shape the hours, days, and even years to come. So let me ask, when was the last time you thought about your very first act each morning? Not checking the news, not reaching for your phone or the remote, but simply taking a few slow breaths and nourishing your body with water? It sounds almost too basic, but science is finally catching up to what these wise souls have always known. When you sleep, your body loses about 16 to 24 ounces of water, just through breathing and basic cellular processes. Think about that. As you're dreaming, your cells are still working, your heart is quietly beating, and your lungs gently rising and falling. By sunrise, you're already running low on the fuel that keeps every part of you moving: water. The centenarians in countless studies share a common habit. Before they do anything else, before they even step out of bed, they reach for a glass of room-temperature water, and they drink it all. No lemon, no ice cubes, no supplements. Just pure, clean water. It's not about quenching thirst. It's about awakening every cell in the body, turning on the natural repair systems that kept them healthy decade after decade. The science behind this habit is surprisingly robust. When you drink water first thing in the morning, you're triggering a cascade of positive effects. At the Mayo Clinic, researchers have found that this practice helps activate proteins responsible for DNA repair and cellular regeneration. These aren't just fancy words. These are the basic building blocks that keep your tissues strong, your mind sharp, and your organs running like a well-oiled machine. Let's picture it another way. Think of your body as a beautiful classic car. You wouldn't dream of driving it without checking the oil or giving it a bit of time to warm up, would you? Your cells need water for nearly every process, from flushing away toxins that have built up overnight to sending nutrients throughout your body. When you skip this first step, it's like asking your car to run on empty, forcing your heart and kidneys to work harder and harder day after day. The difference is astonishingly clear when you talk to those who've made this a lifelong habit. Take Helen Rodriguez from Phoenix, Arizona. a lively, sharp-witted 103-year-old who still bakes cookies for her grandchildren and never misses her weekly church gathering. She credits her clarity of mind and strong kidneys to her unwavering morning ritual. Each night, she places a 16-ounce glass of water on her nightstand, and each morning, before her feet touch the floor, she drinks it down in slow, measured sips. Helen's story isn't unique. Across the country and around the world, those who reach their 90s and beyond with vigor almost always have a version of this story. They talk about fewer kidney stones, more energy, and a mental sharpness that amazes their doctors. In Helen's last checkup, her doctor marveled at her kidney function and blood work, joking that she was beating out folks half her age. But let's step back for a moment. Why is water so important, especially as we get older? Our bodies are made up of about 60% water, and for the brain, that number is even higher, closer to 85%. As we age, our sense of thirst naturally decreases, so we're less likely to feel when we're running low. Even mild dehydration can make you feel foggy, slow your memory, and sap your strength. It's one of the sneaky reasons why so many older adults struggle with fatigue, dizziness, and even falls. There's more. Research shows that proper hydration in the morning helps your kidneys filter waste more efficiently, keeps your blood flowing smoothly, and can even lower your risk of urinary tract infections, a common, and sometimes serious, problem for seniors. Your heart, that steady drum keeping you alive, has to work twice as hard when your blood is thickened from lack of water. No wonder so many centenarians make this their priority each morning. And here's the best part: it's effortless. No new skills to learn, no equipment to buy, and no changes to your daily schedule. You simply set a glass of water by your bed before you turn out the light. The next morning, drink it all before you get up. Room temperature water is key. It's gentle on the digestive system and absorbs more quickly than cold water. Don't be tempted to add lemon, honey, or any supplement just yet. What your body needs at that very first moment is pure H2O. Within minutes, you may notice your circulation waking up, your head clearing, and a gentle boost of energy as your organs spring into action. Over time, this habit can help you maintain kidney health, support mental clarity, and even stave off the minor aches and sluggishness that so often tag along as the years go by. Let me be honest, I didn't always believe in the power of something so simple. For many years, my mornings started with coffee and a glance at the newspaper, my glass of water forgotten on the kitchen counter. It wasn't until I listened to the stories of those who'd outlived their peers, people like Helen or my own Aunt Martha, who gardened well into her late 90s, that I realized how much these little rituals mattered. After just a few weeks of following this habit myself, I felt steadier, less groggy, and noticed a welcome brightness to my mornings. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The science, the stories, and the lived experience all point to the same conclusion. Your body is thirsty for care from the very first moment you wake up. By giving yourself this small, consistent gift each day, you're not just quenching thirst. You're honoring your body's remarkable ability to repair, renew, and keep you moving through life seasons. So, as you prepare for tomorrow morning, try this. Fill a glass with about 16 ounces of room temperature water and place it within easy reach of your bed. When you open your eyes, before the world asks anything of you, pause for a moment, breathe, and drink deeply. It's a simple ritual, but its impact can echo across years. If you forget one day, don't worry or scold yourself. Just try again the next morning. Consistency, not perfection, is what matters. Each time you choose this gentle act, you're joining a quiet community of wise souls. People who've shown us that the path to a longer, more vibrant life is paved with small, caring choices, day after day. And if you share your home with loved ones, invite them to join you. Make it a shared ritual, one that says, we're here, we matter, and we're starting this day by caring for ourselves. Imagine the ripple effect this could have, not just for you, but for generations to come. Remember, you deserve to feel your best, to move through your mornings with clarity and strength. It all starts with a single, life-affirming glass of water, just like the centenarians who have come before us. So tonight, before you turn off the light, set out your glass. Tomorrow, take that first sip and know you are giving yourself the gift of longevity, one morning at a time. 2. Gentle circulation awakener. There's a tender moment every morning, right after you open your eyes when the world still feels soft and slow. The house is quiet, and for a few precious minutes, you can just be, before the phone rings, before the coffee brews, before your day fills with little demands. Most people don't think much about what happens in these first moments. We often rush to get up, anxious to shake off sleep and start our day, almost as if getting vertical and moving fast will somehow help us feel younger or more alive. But the truth, one quietly practiced by the oldest, healthiest people among us, is quite the opposite. If you talk to centenarians, you'll hear a common story. They don't leap out of bed. They don't bounce to their feet in a rush, as if they have something to prove. Instead, there's a quiet ritual, a set of gentle movements they do, right there in bed, before their feet ever touch the floor. This habit isn't just tradition or superstition. Science now tells us it's one of the most effective things we can do to keep our bodies resilient, our hearts safer, and our balance steady as we age. Think about your own experience for a moment. How often have you stood up too quickly, only to feel a wave of dizziness or that uncertain wobble in your knees? Maybe you've noticed a stiffness in your back, hips, or ankles, a reminder that, as the years go by, your joints and circulation don't wake up as quickly as they used to. I'll admit, I've had those mornings myself. For a while, I thought it was just another part of aging I'd have to accept. But what if I told you that a few easy, mindful movements, done before you leave your bed, could ease those aches, protect your heart, and set a positive tone for the whole day? Let's break this down. While you're asleep, your circulation slows, your muscles rest, and your joints have been still for hours. When you suddenly sit up and stand, you're asking your heart and blood vessels to switch gears instantly. For older adults, this can lead to dangerous spikes or drops in blood pressure, what doctors call orthostatic hypotension, increasing the risk of fainting, falls, or simply feeling unsteady. But it's not just about safety. These first movements are a gentle invitation to your body. Wake up, it's a new day, and we're in no rush. Centenarians learned this long ago, sometimes from their parents or grandparents, who may have lived hard-working lives but always respected the wisdom of gradual awakening. Modern research backs them up. Johns Hopkins University found that just 3 to 5 minutes of gentle stretching and movement in bed can boost circulation by up to 40% before standing up. That means more oxygen and nutrients are delivered to your brain, heart, and muscles. It means your joints become lubricated with synovial fluid. Think of it as nature's oil, keeping everything gliding smoothly and pain-free. Let me share a story. Frank Williams, now 101 years old, lives in a quiet suburb in Ohio. Frank was a mechanic for most of his life, always fixing things with his hands, always moving. In his 80s, he started noticing his knees were stiffer, his feet tingled when he got out of bed, and sometimes he felt lightheaded when he stood up too quickly. His doctor suggested a simple routine. Before rising, spend a few minutes moving his ankles, pulling each knee to his chest, and gently circling his arms. Frank didn't expect much, but he figured it couldn't hurt. 30 years later, Frank still starts each morning the same way. He says, "My joints are old, sure, but they're still mine, and I want to keep using them." He rotates his ankles, clockwise and counterclockwise. He gently hugs his knees to his chest, one at a time. He raises his arms, drawing slow circles in the air, feeling the gentle pull and release in his shoulders and back. Some mornings, he imagines he's oiling the gears of an old engine. Slow, patient, with care. Frank's last checkup showed joint flexibility and muscle strength comparable to men 20 years younger. And he still tends his garden, mows his lawn, and walks with confidence. No cane, no fear. Frank's story is more common than you might imagine among those who live well into their 90s and beyond. Their secret isn't a magic pill or a new device. It's consistency and self-kindness. They respect the wisdom of their bodies. So how can you do this yourself? You don't need yoga classes or fancy routines. Just a few mindful minutes before you get out of bed. Begin by lying comfortably on your back. Start with your ankles. Rotate both ankles clockwise 10 times, then counterclockwise 10 times. You might feel a gentle stretch in your calves and feet. This wakes up the circulation in your lower legs and helps prevent swelling. Next, bend one knee and gently pull it toward your chest. Hold for 5 seconds, breathing normally, then switch legs. Repeat 5 times for each leg. This lubricates your hip joints and stretches your lower back, which can be tight after a night of sleep. Finally, extend your arms up toward the ceiling and make small circles, gradually increasing their size for about 30 seconds. This activates your shoulder joints and upper body circulation, releasing the stiffness that can creep in overnight. All of these movements should feel easy and gentle. If you have arthritis or joint replacements, adjust the range of motion so there's never pain, just a pleasant sensation of movement. The key isn't how far you stretch, but that you move regularly and with care. Why does this matter so much, especially as we get older? For starters, moving before you rise prepares your heart and blood vessels for the shift from lying down to standing up. It's like giving your body a friendly heads up. No surprises, no shocks. Your heart doesn't have to suddenly pump harder to send blood to your brain, so you're less likely to feel dizzy or lose your balance. Over years and decades, this gentle approach protects your arteries and helps reduce the risk of strokes and heart attacks, complications that become more common with age. Just as importantly, these gentle movements keep your joints supple. Each time you move your ankles, hips, and shoulders, you're bathing those areas in nourishing fluid that helps protect the cartilage and prevents that morning stiffness that so many people dread. Imagine the difference. Instead of starting your day with pain or tightness, you greet the morning with flexibility and confidence. If you've ever felt embarrassed about taking too long to get up, or worried that moving slowly is a sign of weakness, I want you to let go of that old thinking. The real strength is in knowing your body, honoring its needs, and moving with intention. This is a habit rooted in both science and self-respect. People who practice gentle morning movement not only report fewer falls and injuries, but also enjoy greater independence and more joyful years in their later lives. Maybe tomorrow morning, you'll remember Frank's story. Maybe you'll try circling your ankles, giving your knees a gentle hug, or raising your arms with a sense of celebration. I made it to another day, and I'm going to take care of myself. Let it become your small ritual, a way to thank your body for all it does, and a promise to keep moving, one gentle step at a time. And if you find yourself doubting whether these few minutes matter, just remember, it's the small, caring choices, done day after day, that add up to a lifetime of strength and resilience. You don't have to move quickly or perfectly. Just move kindly and consistently. Your heart, your joints, and your spirit will thank you for it. So, as the sun peeks through your window tomorrow, before you rush to the demands of the day, pause. Let yourself awaken slowly. Circle your ankles. Stretch your arms. Feel your quiet power returning, one gentle movement at a time. That's the secret the oldest among us already know, and it's never too late to make it your own. 3. Circadian Reset Secret. There's something quietly magical about the first light of morning. Maybe you've noticed it yourself. The soft, golden rays filtering through your window, the world hushed and still, the promise of a new day shimmering in the air. For many of us, the morning sun is simply a backdrop to the start of another routine day. Coffee brewing, breakfast sizzling, the radio humming softly in the kitchen. Yet for those who've lived long, healthy lives, especially those remarkable centenarians whose stories quietly inspire us, there's an understanding that this gentle sunlight is more than a backdrop. It is, in many ways, the secret conductor of our inner symphony, orchestrating health, mood, and energy in ways most of us never realize. You see, your body carries within it a finely tuned clock, a circadian rhythm, that sets the pace for nearly everything your cells do. This clock doesn't tick with gears or numbers, but with the rising and setting of the sun, with the glow of daylight and the fading of dusk. For decades, we've been taught to fear sunlight, to slather on sunscreen and hide behind curtains. And yes, protecting our skin is important. But new research is showing what the oldest, healthiest among us have practiced for years. A brief dose of gentle morning sunlight is essential for resetting the body's clock and helping every cell know that a new day has truly begun. Let's talk about what happens overnight. As you sleep, your body's rhythms slow down. Melatonin, the hormone of sleep, rises in your bloodstream, helping your brain and organs recharge and heal. But when you wake up in the dim light of your bedroom and shuffle straight to the kitchen or living room, your inner clock is left confused. Is it morning or still night? Should it be sending out the wake-up hormones, like cortisol and serotonin, that power you through the day, or should it stay quiet, leaving you foggy, sluggish, and maybe even a little blue? Centenarians don't leave this to chance. Their secret is surprisingly simple. Expose your face and eyes to natural outdoor light within 30 minutes of waking up every single day. It doesn't matter if the sky is clear or clouded, if it's summer or winter, or if you're in Vermont or California. What matters is letting your eyes drink in the brightness of real daylight, the kind you just can't get from a lamp or a TV screen. Take Betty Johnson, a spry 102-year-old from rural Vermont. Betty has lived through winters colder than most of us could stand, yet she starts each day, all year long, sitting on her porch with a cup of coffee. She might wear a heavy sweater or a raincoat, but she always lets the natural light hit her face for at least 10 minutes before she does anything else. Betty's friends joke that she's the sunrise queen, but her doctor says her sleep quality and daytime energy put most people half her age to shame. While others complain about insomnia or waking up tired, Betty sleeps a steady 8 hours, wakes refreshed, and never needs a nap. Why does this ritual matter so much? Well, here's where science and common sense meet. Harvard researchers have discovered that natural morning light is the most powerful signal to your circadian clock that a new day has started. Special cells in your eyes, called photoreceptors, send a direct message to your brain: it's morning, get ready to wake up. This signal resets the timing of your body's hormone production, metabolism, immune function, and even your genes' daily repair cycles. In short, morning sunlight tells every cell, it's time to switch from rest and repair to action and renewal. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. What happens if you skip this step? The consequences might be more familiar than you realize. You might struggle with restless sleep, afternoon energy crashes, fuzzy thinking, or a lingering feeling of sadness or anxiety that's hard to shake. Many older adults find that, as they age, their circadian rhythms get out of sync, leading to trouble falling asleep at night and staying alert during the day. Indoor lights, even the brightest ones, just aren't strong enough to reset your clock. It's the unique intensity and spectrum of natural daylight that does the trick. You don't need to stare directly at the sun, please don't. And you don't need to expose your skin for long periods. The goal is to let natural light hit your face and eyes. Even on a cloudy day, the light outdoors is 10 to 50 times brighter than what you'll find indoors. And if you're worried about UV exposure or sensitive skin, the early morning hours are the safest time. UV rays are at their lowest, while the circadian resetting rays are at their peak. For many centenarians, this isn't a chore, it's a treasured part of their day. They use these quiet minutes to breathe deeply, listen to the birds, or simply enjoy the peace before the world stirs awake. Some take their dog for a gentle walk. Others tend to a flower box, or simply sit by a bright window if going outdoors isn't possible. The key is consistency. Like any habit, the benefits build over time, gently nudging your inner clock back into rhythm. It's not just about better sleep, either. When your circadian clock is set correctly, your immune system works better, your heart and blood pressure stay steadier, and your mind feels clearer. Studies show that regular morning light exposure can reduce the risk of depression and anxiety, sharpen memory, and even help regulate blood sugar and appetite. Your body works best when it knows what time it is, when there's a steady routine of day and night, activity, and rest. Let's be honest, starting a new habit can feel daunting, especially if your mornings have followed the same pattern for years. Maybe it seems easier to shuffle to the kitchen and flip on the news, or maybe you don't feel like stepping outside in your robe, especially if it's cold. But this is where the stories of those who've lived the longest offer us hope. They didn't become centenarians by accident. They made small, gentle choices, day after day, that added up over time. If you'd like to try the Circadian Reset secret for yourself, start simply. Tomorrow morning, within 30 minutes of waking, open your curtains wide and sit by the brightest window you have. If you're able, step outside onto your porch, balcony, or just your front steps. Face toward the morning light, relax your shoulders, and take a few slow breaths. You don't have to meditate or make it complicated. Just let the light reach your eyes. No sunglasses for these few minutes, so your brain can pick up the signal. If you're worried about the cold, wrap up in a warm robe or blanket. If you're in a warmer climate, enjoy the fresh air. If mobility is a challenge, even sitting by an open window with sunlight can make a difference. As you practice this new ritual, notice how your day changes. Maybe you'll feel a bit more alert by breakfast, or find it easier to fall asleep at night. Maybe your mood will lift, or you'll notice a subtle steadiness in your energy throughout the afternoon. These are the gentle gifts of a body in sync with its clock, gifts that only grow with time. And if you have a partner, a grandchild, or a neighbor, invite them to join you. Imagine the quiet connection of two chairs on a porch, coffee mugs steaming in the morning light, sharing a moment of calm before the day begins. These are the memories that linger, the routines that shape not just longer life, but richer, more meaningful days. So tomorrow, as the world wakes up, remember, the first light isn't just for the birds or the early risers. It's a signal, a gentle nudge to your body and spirit that today is a new chance. Step into the light, literally, and let your body's clock find its rhythm once again. This is the centenarian's secret, simple and free, waiting for you at the edge of dawn. 4. Stress defense breathing pattern. In the quiet hush of morning, there's a gentle, powerful ritual practiced by those who seem to age more gracefully than the rest of us. If you ask people who have lived a century or more what helps them start each day with clarity and calm, many will point not to some secret supplement or exotic herb, but to something as simple and essential as their breath. It's a curious thing, isn't it? We breathe thousands of times every day, without thinking, without trying. Yet most of us have never been taught the real power of our breath. When we're young, we rarely notice how stress creeps into our bodies. A clenched jaw, tight shoulders, a heart that races a little faster when worries press in. But as we get older, that stress can feel heavier and more persistent. It sits with us through sleepless nights, aches in our joints, and that quiet worry about health, family, or simply what tomorrow may bring. Science now confirms what the wisest among us have always known. Chronic stress isn't just a feeling. It's a physical process that can age us faster, weaken our immune systems, and rob us of joy. High levels of the stress hormone cortisol can damage our hearts, make our blood pressure spike, slow our healing, and cloud our thinking. For older adults, years, sometimes decades, of accumulated worries can take a real toll. But here's the hopeful truth. You can gently retrain your body's stress response, and it starts with just 5 quiet minutes every morning. This is the stress defense breathing pattern, a simple, proven technique practiced by centenarians around the world, now recommended by leading health experts at places like the CDC and Mayo Clinic. It doesn't require strength or flexibility, just an open mind and a willingness to slow down. Dorothy Chen, a 104-year-old former nurse from California, learned controlled breathing during her earliest days of medical training, long before mindfulness became a buzzword. Decades later, She credits her peaceful mornings and stable blood pressure to this ritual. "If I skip my breathing, I notice the difference," Dorothy laughs. "I get grumpy with my grandchildren and forget where I put my glasses. But when I take those 5 minutes, I feel like myself again." So, what is the stress defense breathing pattern? At its core, it's a structured way to slow your breath, calm your mind, and invite your nervous system into a state of rest and healing. The most popular pattern is called 4-7-8 breathing. It's astonishingly simple, yet it immediately shifts your body from a state of stress to one of renewal. Here's how Dorothy and countless centenarians do it. Sit comfortably, with your feet flat on the floor and your hands resting on your knees or in your lap. Gently close your eyes, or soften your gaze toward the floor. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Feel your belly rise, letting the breath fill you gently, without forcing it. Hold that breath for a count of 7. Then, slowly and completely exhale through your mouth for a count of 8, making a soft whooshing sound as the air leaves your body. Repeat this cycle for about 5 minutes, or 8 rounds. If you get distracted or your mind wanders, just gently bring your attention back to the rhythm of your breathing. You may be surprised at first by how long those counts feel, especially the exhale. But with practice, your breath will slow, your heart will quiet, and you may notice your muscles letting go, one by one. Some people feel their hands warm, or a tingling in their fingers and toes, as fresh oxygen reaches every cell. Why does this work? When you slow your breathing and focus on the long exhale, you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's natural rest and repair mode. This not only lowers cortisol but also helps reduce blood pressure, steady your heartbeat, and boost immune function. The CDC has found that seniors who regularly practice controlled breathing have fewer illnesses, sharper thinking, and even a lower risk of dementia. But it's not just about what happens inside your body. This ritual offers a sense of control, a way to greet each day with intention instead of anxiety. In a world where so much is unpredictable, your breath is always yours. Dorothy's daughter says, "Something is calming about seeing Mom in her kitchen, eyes closed, hands folded, just breathing. It's like she's reminding herself, and all of us, that whatever comes today, she can handle it." Many people who adopt this practice report changes beyond the morning hours. They find themselves using the 4-7-8 pattern during moments of stress, waiting for test results, listening to upsetting news, or trying to sleep on a restless night. The rhythm becomes an anchor, a way to return to calm, no matter the storm outside. For those who find sitting still a challenge, or who struggle with anxiety, there are gentle variations. You can start with shorter counts, or simply focus on breathing out longer than you breathe in. The key is patience and consistency, not perfection. If you miss a day, don't scold yourself. Like any good habit, this is a gift you return to, one morning at a time. For some, the first few days may feel awkward or even uncomfortable. We're not used to paying attention to something so ordinary. But after a week or two, you might find yourself looking forward to these 5 minutes. An oasis of peace before the day begins. Maybe, like Dorothy, you'll choose a favorite chair by the window, or watch the sunrise as you breathe. Perhaps you'll add a cup of tea or soft music in the background. This ritual is yours to shape and cherish. Science is only beginning to understand the full power of breath, but the oldest among us have always known that it is the thread that connects body to mind, spirit to earth, and present to future. In the gentle rhythm of inhale, pause, exhale, there is healing. There is hope. So tomorrow morning, before the world gets busy, before worries can crowd your mind, give yourself this quiet gift. Find a comfortable seat. Close your eyes. Inhale, hold and exhale, slow and steady. Let each breath wash away a bit of yesterday's stress. Let your body and mind remember what it feels like to rest, to repair, to be present. You are not alone in your worries or your longing for peace. Across the country, and all over the world, There are people just like you, taking 5 gentle minutes to greet the day with calm and strength. Join them. Your heart, your health, and your spirit will thank you. And as Dorothy might say, if you can breathe, you can do this. In the end, perhaps the greatest secret to a long, vibrant life is learning, morning by morning, to breathe a little more kindly, to yourself and the day ahead. 5. Purpose Activation Ritual. There's a quiet truth that every centenarian, whether they live in a bustling city or a quiet country town, seems to know by heart. The most important thing you do each morning isn't what you eat for breakfast or how long you stretch your arms. It's how you choose to greet the day inside your own heart and mind. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. It's easy to overlook, especially as we age and routines become comfortable. Many people assume that living a long life is all about diet, exercise, or good genes. But if you spend time talking to those who have passed 100 birthdays and still greet the morning with a twinkle in their eye, you'll hear something different. You'll hear about the importance of purpose. The purpose isn't just a grand, philosophical idea. It's not reserved for famous inventors or world travelers. The centenarians who've inspired researchers the most are often quiet souls with simple daily intentions. A letter to write, a neighbor to check on, a grandchild to call, a flower bed to tend. They wake up not just because the sun has risen, but because there's something, however small, that matters to them, something that connects them to the world around them. Arthur Thompson, now 105 and living in a small Texas town, starts each morning in the same way he has for 3 decades. Sitting quietly at his kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug of warm coffee, thinking about whose day he might brighten. I ask myself, who can I help today? Arthur says, his voice is soft but steady. Sometimes it's a phone call. Sometimes it's just a kind word to the grocery clerk. It doesn't have to be big, but it gives me a reason to get up and get moving. He laughs and adds, you'd be surprised how much a little purpose can do for your bones. Science now backs up what Arthur and so many others have discovered on their own. The National Institute on Aging has shown that having a sense of purpose each day can improve memory, boost mood, reduce the risk of depression and dementia, and even help us recover more quickly from illness. Purpose, it turns out, isn't just good for the soul, it's medicine for the mind and body. But purpose can feel hard to find, especially after retirement, after children are grown, or when friends and loved ones have moved on or passed away. It's natural to sometimes wake up and wonder, what am I supposed to do today? Or even, does it matter if I do anything at all? This is where the purpose activation ritual comes in, a gentle, practical way to rediscover meaning, one morning at a time. Here's how centenarians make this ritual part of their lives. Before beginning the business of the day, before the TV, the news, the to-do list, they sit quietly, even just for 3 minutes, and reflect on a single meaningful thing they want to do that day. It might be simple, organizing a drawer, calling an old friend, watering the houseplants, or writing a birthday card. The act itself doesn't need to be dramatic. What matters is that it feels real, that it gives the day a thread of meaning. Try this for yourself tomorrow. When you wake, before you rise or reach for your phone, just sit and ask, what's one thing I could do today, no matter how small, that would make my life or someone else's life a little brighter? Maybe it's putting on your favorite song and dancing in the kitchen, or baking cookies to share with the neighbors. Maybe it's sorting through a box of old photos and sending a memory to a family member, or volunteering for an hour at the local food pantry. You might decide to write a note to a grandchild, or simply to smile at everyone you meet on your walk. Once you've chosen your daily purpose, write it down on a slip of paper or a sticky note. Keep it in your pocket, on the fridge, or by your chair. Let it be a gentle reminder, especially if the day brings challenges or moments of loneliness. If your energy dips or you feel discouraged, touch that note and remember, you have a reason for today. Even the smallest purpose can lift your spirit and steady your steps. The purpose is not about perfection, and it's not about always feeling positive. There will be hard days, days when you miss someone, or your body aches, or the world feels heavy. On those days, purpose can be as simple as taking care of yourself, making a nourishing meal, sitting in the sunlight, or calling a friend to say, "Today was tough, but I wanted to hear your voice." The purpose is not a burden. It's a lifeline, a thread that ties you to the world and to your sense of being needed. Let's go back to Arthur. He's known on his street as the neighborhood encourager. Over the years, his small acts, checking on neighbors, delivering groceries, noticing when someone's garden needs watering, have created a web of care. He says it's given him far more than he ever expected. "I get out of bed every morning with something to look forward to. Some days, it's just seeing how the sunrise paints the sky, or hearing the laughter of kids on their way to school. That's enough." And research shows he's right. Seniors who engage in this daily purpose ritual show better resilience in the face of illness, stronger memory, and a greater sense of happiness, even on days that aren't easy. The brain's neural pathways grow stronger every time you choose intention over drifting, action over apathy, connection over isolation. You may find, as you practice this, that your days feel more colorful. You might notice the gentle pride that comes from doing something kind or the peace that arrives when you've done what you intended. Over time, these moments build upon one another, giving you not just more years, but richer ones. If you live alone, remember, purpose is as much for you as it is for anyone else. Maybe your purpose today is to nurture your well-being. Tomorrow, it might be to reach out to someone else. There's no right answer, only what feels meaningful to you in this season of life. So tomorrow, and every morning after, give yourself 3 quiet minutes. Ask, "What will give today meaning for me?" Then write it down. Hold it close. Let it be your compass through the day's ups and downs. Purpose isn't something you outgrow. It's something you grow into again and again. It's the centenarian's secret to waking up with hope, moving through the day with steadiness, and going to bed with gratitude. And in case no one has told you lately, your life matters. Your presence matters. The world is a little better because you're in it. Each day is a new chance to connect, to care, to find purpose. And that, more than anything, is the heart of a long, beautiful life. Let today be guided by a sense of meaning, however small. You deserve that gift, and the world deserves what only you can give. As we come to the close of this journey through the 5 morning habits that have quietly supported some of the longest, healthiest lives, I want you to pause and feel a deep sense of possibility. These aren't just tips or fleeting trends. They are gentle, science-backed rituals that anyone can begin tomorrow morning. The power to shape your day, your health, and your years ahead lies quietly within your reach. Remember Helen, Frank, Betty, Dorothy, and Arthur. Their stories are proof that living past 100 isn't reserved for a lucky few. It's about daily choices filled with intention, kindness, and care for yourself. Drinking that first glass of water, moving your body gently before rising, stepping into the morning light, breathing deeply to ease stress, and embracing a clear purpose. All these simple acts weave together to create a life rich in vitality and meaning. You don't have to do everything perfectly, nor do you need to rush. Just start with one habit, perhaps the one that speaks most to your heart. Permit yourself to nurture your body and mind, and to welcome each new day with curiosity and grace. The years ahead can be your best years yet. If this video has touched you, or if you know someone who could benefit from these gentle morning habits, please share this message. And I'd love to hear from you. What habit will you try first? How does it make you feel after a week of practice? Your journey matters, and your story can inspire others. Thank you for allowing me to walk with you today. Here's to your health, your happiness, and the beautiful mornings yet to come.